Someone has to do this. The wasteland is full of things trying to kill you, and everyone ranks them by how dangerous they are, how annoying they are, how good their loot is. Nobody ever stops to ask the other question. Not what kills you fastest, but what is it actually like to be that thing? What did the Great War do to these animals? What does a rageroach experience? What is going through the heads of the creatures you've been shooting for decades? Today we find out, by ranking every major Fallout creature from probably fine honestly, down to objectively the worst existence in the wasteland. Starting at the low end of suffering. The rageroach. Cockroaches survived the apocalypse, which is the most cockroach outcome imaginable, and in Fallout they grew to grotesque proportions and became a recurring minor nuisance. But here is the thing about rageroaches. They are still cockroaches. They live in walls and sewers and dark corners. They eat whatever is around. They have no memory worth speaking of, no social bonds, no existential awareness of what the wasteland is or how it used to be. A rageroach does not mourn the pre-war world. A rageroach does not miss sunlight. A rageroach found a pipe and crawled into it and is living its absolute best life by rageroach standards. The radiation made it bigger. That's it. Suffering score, basically none. The rageroach is fine. Brahmin are next, and they occupy a weird category because they are domesticated animals living in genuinely functioning agricultural communities. Yes, they have two heads, which the lore suggests developed because of radiation mutating the embryonic development of cattle descended from Indian Brahmin breeds. Two heads means two brains, two sets of sensory input, two mouths that both need to eat. The question of whether those two heads share consciousness, communicate with each other, or experience the same confused double perception that some conjoined twins describe is never addressed in the games. They just exist. Chewing things. Being herded. Occasionally going mad. The Mad Brahmin variant attacks everything in sight, suggesting the dual brain arrangement can produce genuine psychological distress. But a normal, calm Brahmin plodding through Diamond City's market looks like it has accepted its situation with a deep bovine serenity that most humans in the wasteland cannot manage. Mid-low suffering, they probably have headaches. The bloatfly has a specific misery that is worth acknowledging. Bloatflies are giant flies, which already sets a low baseline for existential contentment. They spend their brief lives flying around the wasteland, getting shot at by everything, and dying instantly in most combat situations because they have essentially no health. The larvae phase apparently involves burrowing into flesh, which is not a pleasant process for anyone involved. But bloatflies lack the cognitive architecture for suffering in any meaningful sense. Their tragedy is purely the aesthetic tragedy of being a giant fly in a wasteland where everything hates you. Moderate low suffering, primarily because being a bloatfly seems like a bad time but a short one. Rad scorpions were originally emperor scorpions, a species that can grow to 7 or 8 inches in a normal world. The Fallout version can be the size of a car, the entire nervous system scaled with the body without any indication that the animal's coping mechanisms scaled proportionally. Scorpions in the normal world hunt, sting, burrow, and reproduce in specific spatial environments their instincts are calibrated for. Giant rad scorpions do all of the same things, but at a scale that requires them to rearrange the landscape to find shelter. They are ambush predators who evolved into creatures too large to ambush effectively. Every animal instinct they have is calibrated to a body size that no longer exists. Their venom delivery system also scaled, which means each sting now injects a potentially lethal dose where the original probably just paralyzed a small animal for consumption. They are optimized for prey that no longer exists at any scale worth hunting. You can picture the confusion of a creature whose nervous system is telling it to hide under a rock while its actual body needs something more like a small building. Moderate suffering. Mostly existential. Mirelurks were among the first species affected by nuclear contamination even before the Great War, mutating from horseshoe crabs and Chesapeake Bay crab species, in waterways that were already being chemically and radiologically polluted. By the time the bombs fell, the process was well underway. Mirelurks show behavioral patterns consistent with territorial awareness and pack coordination. The queens exhibit genuine aggression that implies something beyond simple stimulus response. Something in a mirelurk notices territory, tracks threats, processes the pre-attack state that most animals experience as stress. Moderate suffering. Something in their minds,